I teach at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. I'm the head of the fashion and textile program, and I also teach papermaking in the art department. And I come to papermaking through textiles. So that's unusual. Most papermakers that I know came through printmaking. So it's a little bit different starting point. I was in Iowa City in a small textile and fiber and material study program, and I was studying with a wonderful professor who I always love to name, Naomi Shadle. During the time, and I was in an MA program, and during that time, a guy came to the university to found the Iowa Center for Book and Paper Arts, Tim Barrett. Tim Barrett is a consummate craftsman, a really generous teacher, and he's really made a huge impact on many of us and on the world of fine craft papermaking. And so it was just a gift from the universe that he came to where I was. He was a guy that would stand up and say, I'm a craftsman, and know what that meant, and really be able to talk about both the poetry in a beautifully made sheet of paper, but how that was informed by fine craft. And that has been a foundation for my work from then on out. So I left Iowa City and finished an MFA at the Art Institute in Chicago in Fiber and Material Studies, and that was a really terrific complement to the work with Tim. It was very conceptual, and I was really pushed to think about the ideas that propelled my work and what informed it, and how to expand, be a more expansive thinker about content. I'm wired to be a teacher somehow. I think it's just always been a little bit a part of who I am. When I started out, I was teaching art at the school that my little kids at that time were attending, and I think it just comes really naturally for me to think about how to share what I love and what I do in my studio practice. I learned a lot from people who were really genuinely committed educators about how to do that well. And it was easy for me to, I loved being around that dynamic of people, of the authentic sharing of information and the authentic trying out, kids or students or the people that you're working with, trying out new activities and finding joy and ways of expressing themselves that they hadn't anticipated. And that's a pretty powerful thing to be a part of. My neighbor, Seitu Jones, is an important artist in our region and really a player nationally, I think. And he has made a big commitment to the issue of food security, and we live in a neighborhood of new immigrants and low incomes, and he was really interested in calling attention to eating well and community. And he's an artist, so he was interested in beauty and the kind of creativity that can come from the performative act of putting forward a meal in a thoughtful way. And he had an expansive imagination and imagined all of us sitting down, 2,000 people sitting down at a half-mile long table that ended at a community garden. And he invited me to join that effort to help set the table by making placemats. And we made placemats out of urban bio-waste. And so 2,000 placemats made from stuff in the neighborhood that was not of too much value, waste material. And we were able to hire, we got the funding to hire a team of local people who were interested in learning the fine craft of papermaking, and we taught them to be good paper makers, and they also became teachers because we went all over the neighborhood and shared how to do this, and lots of people joined us during the summer. We ended up making a pile of in excess of 2,000 sheets of paper and helped set that table. And at the end, we thought maybe we would try to gather those pages together and make an artist's book or use them in some artful way. But almost 2,000 people carried their sheet of paper home with them, and that was a pretty extraordinary thing to watch. Yeah, it was really wonderful. And I think we had a high standard in terms of the paper making. We made beautiful sheets of paper, high quality sheets of paper. We invited everyone to participate. We thought about what that meant to share fine craft and keep the standards high. And we called attention to the idea that, to the transformative nature of hand paper making. So here's this waste material that became an important and beautiful part of a culturally significant activity that 2,000 people took part in. So I'm just part of a team, and Setu is the one that really deserves the credit, the full credit, for having this incredible imagination and energy to make it happen, and wide arms to bring us all together. But I'm really proud of being part of that team and really proud of what we were able to contribute.